It doesn't have to be a perfect order. Again, you decide what you want to do. Maybe you don't want pockets. Maybe you just want to have double page spreads. Totally your option. There's not, like I said, there's not a wrong or right way to do this. And then, because it's thicker, it just takes a little bit more time. And that's it. What I want to do is trim this because it just doesn't look right. It just overhangs a little bit too much. And I'm going to try and do this again on with scissors. And we'll see how this works out. And I'll just trim this little piece here. Okay, so that looks better. So it's not sticking out as much. Where's my flaps? I'm so confused. Okay, here are my flaps. Okay. So here are my flaps. Outside flaps. Okay. And that's it. Here they are. The single papers are your these are your flaps that attach to the covers. Okay. So the ones in the center. So it should fold like this. Okay. At this point, if you want pockets, I need to get my my hole punch. Should have had that ready. I'm sorry. And I'm going to use this one here. And I'm going to use no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to use that one. I am going to use my circle punch. And this is my, I'll take this off here. This might be a little small. So here's my top pocket here. Let me see where I'm at. Here's my top pocket here. And I'm just going to line this up here. And I don't know if you knew that these lines here, that's kind of to keep your paper even. But I'm going to use this little notch here and the little notch on the outside here to kind of guide me as to where I want to do my notches. You can use this. You can measure it if you want to. You can make little tick marks, whatever you want to do. This pocket's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. And you just do how you do. And I'm going to just kind of try and keep it the same. And I'm just lining up with this notch here and this notch here. And for time's sake, I'm not going to do the whole thing because then I'll do this after I'm done with this video. So here's this. What you want to do is before you add your covers, you want to add your ribbon so that you can have a closure if that's what you want, because this is a flap that's going to go onto the cover. And I'll do that on the next video because I think my 10 minutes are up. So look out for part 2 and we'll finish making this out. Okay, and for the covers, you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard, measuring 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And the chipboard really depends on how thick you want it. But I showed you the piece that I used earlier on how I cut it down. It's very thin, which is good for this project. And the paper that I used to mat it is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So you'll need 2 pieces of cardstock or chipboard at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then 2 pieces of cardstock to cover it at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. I already did one. I'm going to do the second one here with you. I went ahead and mitered the corners. I'm going to use wet glue because the edges are a little bit shorter. They're smaller, and it doesn't matter where you start. And I'm just going to press this down. I'm going to use my bone folder. I don't want to press too hard because the page can tear because it's so thin, and the paper's thick actually is what I meant to say. It'll crack a little bit, but it's something that you can ink the edges and it'll hide it very well. Or you can go ahead and use washi tape if you want on the edges, if you want to reinforce it. And so I'm just adhering my glue, my paper to the chipboard piece, and I'm going to do that all the way around after you mitered your corners. You want to just get rid of the bulk on the corners, and you don't need a lot of glue. You really don't. And you can use the scraps that you have to create the covers for your chipboard. This is where any smaller project you want to see if you can incorporate any of your scrap paper that you have, that I know you have handy. All right, so here are the covers, matted and ready to go. So now you need to decide which piece you want up front, which one you want on the back, and if it has writing, make sure that it's right side up. You don't want to put it on backwards because this is going to be the cover. I went ahead to save time is I added my adhesive to my flap pieces. And what I'm going to do before I attach the cover is I'm going to add my ribbon. So I'm going to use double-sided tape, and I'm going to use a ribbon. You can cut it between 12 to 16 inches. It just depends on what you want. And I'm going to place it here on top. I always have the wrong side. I don't know what side goes up. I don't know. I think that's the back side. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and place that there. And I am going to go ahead and place it on the back side. And I pre-measured everything, again, just to save time to make these 10-minute videos. And this is for sure going to turn into another video. So there'll be 3 videos to this. Once you figure out what side, I really don't know. I'll just put it on this one. I'll just add my ribbon here. Now, before you add your pieces, we typically are used to just centering it. We don't want to center this, because if we center our booklet onto our chipboard, it limits to how you open your book. You won't be able to open it evenly, if you can see that. So to avoid that, we're not going to center it like we normally would. We are going to add it to the edge. So we want edge to on this side, and you want to leave a little space there, and I'll show you in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my backing from my double-sided tape, and I love my score tape. This is that Sukwang tape that works really good. I'm going to add a little bit of wet glue where I don't have tape, or actually I'm going to use it on both because it's going to stick, and I should have added, I'll be fine. And so this is going to be my front. So I want to make sure that I have the piece that I want to use in the front, and I am going to line this up, and you want to leave a little border around top and bottom. You kind of have to eyeball it. Just want to make sure I have equal spaces on the top and equal space on the bottom with the end edge to edge here. Okay, and so now you have your cover. See how nicely that turned out? Have a nice little border all the way around. Let me add this other tape, and I'll show you why you don't center this piece. Let me add some, I'll just add adhesive on here. I should have added some here, but that's okay. And now I'm going to use the back piece, and I'm going to make sure that it is edge to edge here, and same height as much as possible to the front one. And then I'm just going to, you can just use your bone folder if you want. And there you have it. Here's your cover. And this is the reason why you want edge to edge, so that you can open your book like this. Had this been centered, it would have they would have overlapped. So the method to the madness is to put it to the end so that you're able to open up your book freely. Okay, and there is how you attach your ribbon, your cover to your flat pieces. I went ahead and cut out all the circles that I wanted to use the notches. And for this particular book, I used a 1.5 inch circle punch to create this. So this is the end of part 2. Part 3 will be very short, or actually, I don't know if I need a part 3. You can embellish this however you like. And that's it. Very easy, simple. There you go. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.